Thanks for joining us with Aiding Your Game. This week we're going to be discussing exploring religion in your RPGs. Specifically, we're going to be looking at D&D 5e. However, a lot of the items we're going to talk about are going to be able to be covered by any RPG. Let's jump into it. Now, before we begin, make sure you go down there and hit the like button, and also please subscribe. If you are not yet subscribed to our channel, please do so. We bring new content each week, all focused on RPGs, RPG discussions, and game aids. We've got an aggressive goal for growth, and we can only do it with your help. Religion in RPGs is actually a fairly important aspect that's been going on from the beginning. While the current system doesn't focus as heavily on religion for classes the way older editions used to, with paladins not having to be worshippers of deities to gain their divine inspiration, to clerics with different domains. Online, I've seen a lot of discussions about people avoiding religion and gods in D&D 5e. As a longtime player and DM, I want to tell you, if you're DMing or even a player just catching this, I strongly urge you to start exploring the use of religion in your campaigns. Whether you're using published materials or whether you're doing homebrew content, by exploring and putting in more aspects of religion, it really opens up a wide array of opportunities for your players to advance in different ways in the game. Now, I'm not saying by any means that you have to have set deities for all of your characters and that every other session you have to do prayer sessions, anything like that. If you look at both the Player's Handbook as well as the Dungeon Master's Guide, there's quite a bit of talk about the different pantheons and gods in Dungeons and Dragons. And again, while your players don't have to be worshippers or followers of those religions, those deities, those demigods, it's a great flavoring for your campaign world. Think about when characters go into a new town and they're looking for adventure. Generally, the first places they're going to look is the local tavern. Then they're going to ask about a job board. You can tie in a couple of different things to where the temple is actually looking for brave adventurers to take on different types of goals. And sure, you can pepper those in with some type of religious artifact, searching for redemption, looking for missing personnel, even slaying enemies of that faith. But on top of that, this allows you as the GM to really turn the dynamic and shine a little bit more light on the pantheons in your campaign world. Again, if you're using the published materials, there are all different types of pantheons that are listed. There are also more historically fictionalized pantheons that you can choose from, whether it be Norse or Celtic, Egyptian, or just using the Faerun or Dungeons and Dragons pantheons for both humanoid and non-human races. Especially if you're looking at high fantasy style settings. Temples were a very important social aspect of life in medieval times, and we tend to think of temples or religious orders and churches still a social construct. Why not encourage those as a location of information, support, assistance, sales in your campaign world? Can you imagine your adventurers going to town during a festival and not having a local temple have a bake sale? What a fantastic opportunity to pepper in interesting NPCs, rumors to be garnered, adventure to be found, and possibly sales on select items that they may be looking for. Flipping the coin on that a bit, if you have a character who's playing a cleric, or possibly a paladin, maybe even a druid, having temples for who their faiths represent can be a great way for them to be introduced to different types of adventure opportunities, as well as more of the same sale opportunities, NPC interactions, and just general flavoring of your campaign, making it feel a little more realistic in your immersive game setting. As a cleric, can you imagine being badgered by a local high priest for not obeying a set sacrificial rite that they're supposed to be doing every Midsummer's Eve? It would be a great opportunity to have some type of a play on the aspects of their religion. Ultimately, if you have them continually performing those aspects of their religion in the role-playing environment, there's great opportunity for reward. The high priest, instead of badgering them for not taking the rites of the temple seriously or not following them to the letter, it may be something where the high priests are using them as an example for others, and you have people coming up, approaching them, saying how great it is that they're giving a good path for others to follow. By the way, did you hear about? There are so many opportunities for any type of an interaction from the deities to the party members as well. As an example, in a campaign I had just a couple of years ago, I had religion as a strong focus of part of the theme. While we didn't have any clerics in the group, we had a barbarian that did such good deeds for those around him that Tempest, who he followed, actually started utilizing him as a champion, giving him hints, helping him along the way find clues and paths, and it really turned into a major aspect of the character's story in that campaign through to the end. Both I and the player were able to utilize the character of the rough and tough half-orc barbarian turning into a little bit of a religious fist for Tempest. It was fantastic. In that same campaign, a separate barbarian, yes, we had two, who was a half-orc, half-Goliath, kept running into the same NPC. This barbarian continued to assist and help local populace, and it was a great interaction for him to start realizing that this same NPC was actually Cord, who was watching and testing him, both for his physical strength as well as his desire to do good by others. He started worshiping Cord and ultimately became a champion of Cord in the final setting aspect of the campaign, in the final story arc. While both barbarians didn't plan on starting out with religious characters, by intertwining religious themes and hints and inspirations, both player characters really took hold of that, and it became major aspects of their player characters. And again, while we didn't have set sacrificial rites, clerics, paladins, any of that, religion as a whole became a part of the characters' arc, in that they wanted to not only utilize the information that they got, they wanted to begin devoting some of their time and effort and money into recognition to the gods who were assisting them along, helping them along, and ultimately chose them as champions in a final duel of fate. Now, there are so many pantheons, there are so many gods, there are so many different types of temple worship that you could choose. Unless you've got a lot of experience or you're really ready to start diving in, it can take a lot of work and take a lot of planning. However, by taking on that challenge, again, you can drive further immersive realism into your game story. You can offer new aspects to gameplay of your characters interacting with others. And you can utilize some of the different themes to help guide and shape the story and plot hooks that you put in play. While you may not be religious, or your religion may deter you from exploring some of these themes, I would love to have conversations with it in further detail. As a religious person myself who had to go through the satanic panic playing Dungeons and Dragons, I can assure you that there's opportunity to utilize different themes just as we do different character classes or races, abilities, without them interfering with the reality that we all live in. As an immersive, escapist way to explore different themes, settings, ideas, ideologies. Religion is one that we shouldn't veer away from in our gameplay. And that's my take on exploring religion in Dungeons and Dragons and exploring religion in RPGs. I'd love to hear your comments. Please comment below. Let me know what you've thought of this conversation. Let me know if you've integrated religions or explored religious ideologies or themes in your campaigns or one-shots. Let me know if you agree or disagree with any of the points that I brought up. And until next week, please make sure you let us know. Where will your adventures take you? Thanks for watching our video. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button to help us grow. And here's another video that we feel you might enjoy. Until next time, help us answer the question of where will your adventures take you?